Hello everyone, I am Ritesh Chauhan working as an assistant professor in computer engineering department at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. So we are continuing with the third unit, that is passing theory. So the topic which are covered in this video are bottom-up passing. In bottom-up passing there are total three methods. First one is shift reduce passer, second one is operator precedence passing, and third one is LR0, which we are going to see in next video. In this video we only cover shift reduce parser and second method is operator precedence passing. Let's proceed first with what is handle and handle pruning, which is important to understand in shift reduce parser. That's why we first proceed with handle and handle pruning. So let's first see what is handle and what is handle pruning. So handle is a substring of the string that matches the right side of a production, and we can reduce such string by a non-terminal on the left hand side of that production. That is known as handle. What is handle pruning? The process of discovering that handle and reducing it with the appropriate left hand side non-terminal is known as handle pruning. Let's understand this both with example. Suppose this is a grammar and the string is id plus id into id. Okay. The process of discovering a handle. This is a handle. Why this is handle? Because it can be replaced with appropriate non-terminal. As per the definition, what is handle? A handle is a substring of the string that matches the right hand side of a production. And we can reduce such string by a non-terminal. Yes, we can reduce this id with this non-terminal, that is f. So this is a handle. But when we reduce this id with f, it is known as handle pruning. Okay. When we reduce this id with f, it is known as handle pruning. Let's understand with another example. So what we do in top-down passing, suppose our string is id1 plus id2 into id3. What we do? We always start with the starting symbol and then we derive the right hand side production and to get the string. Okay, we get the string. This is with the help of top-down passing. But in bottom-up passing, we have leaves and we have to reach to the starting state. Okay, so we can say we are doing in the bottom-up passing rightmost derivation but in reverse. So let's solve with the help of bottom-up passing. What is our string id1 plus id2 into id3? What is the first handle here? id1 is the first handle because id1 can be replaced with e first. So what is handle? id1. So when we reduce this id1 with e, then it is known as handle pruning. So what we done in the production? Handle pruning. E tends to id. So we are replacing id with e. Okay, for discovering it is known as handle, but when we reduce with that non-terminal, then we can say it is a handle pruning. So next handle is id2 and id2 is also replaced with e. We do here handle pruning. So what is our next handle? id3. What we here do? Handle pruning. id tends to id. So now what is our handle? As we know, first which expression will be evaluated? This e into e. So e into e is our handle because we can replace with e. Okay. So e into e is our new handle. We can replace with e because we have to reach to the starting state with the help of bottom-up passing. We always start with leave node to the start. We goes towards the starting node. So we have to reduce e with e into e. Sorry. Okay, what is our next handle? E plus e, because e plus e can be reduced with e. Okay, so here passing will be done. How? In bottom up passing we are going from leaves node to the starting state, but in top down passing we do this. From starting state we go to the leaves node. Okay, so once again I can say what is handle? When we discover any terminal in the string and it can be replaced, terminal or non-terminal, and it can be replaced with any of the non-terminal that is on the left hand side, then we can say that is a handle. But when we replace that expression or terminal or non-terminal symbol with the left hand side, then we can say it is a handle pruning. So we are proceeding with the shift reduce parser. So the shift reduce parser performs the following basic operation. Okay. To implement this method, we have to perform the following expression. Following operation. First one is shift. What is shift? Moving of symbols from input buffer onto the stack. This action is called shift. Second one is reduce. If handle appears on the top of the stack, then reduction of it by appropriate rule is done. This action is called reduce action. Here handle will be there. That's why handle is important to explain you. That's why I explain first handle and what is handle pruning, and then we are proceed with this shift reduce parser. So in reduction, if handle appears on the top of the stack, then reduction of it by appropriate rule is done. This is called reduce action. Next one is accept. If the stack contains start symbol only and input buffer is empty, at the same time, that action is known as accept state. When the error occurs, a situation in which parser cannot either shift or reduce the symbols, it cannot even perform accept action, then it is called an error action. Let's understand this whole operation with the help of example. Suppose we have a grammar E tends to E plus T or T tends to T star F or F tends to ID, and the string is ID plus ID into ID. So what is our initial configuration? We have a stack, we have an input buffer, and we have an action. Okay, so what is our first step? First step, you have to write this string in input buffer with the help of end marker, that is $. Okay, so and also in the stack dollar symbol. If in the stack only $will be remain, and input buffer also if only $will be remain, then and only then this string will be accepted. So which action first perform? We have to perform shift operation first. So we shift. This one is our target, huh? This is on the top of the stack. So sorry, this is in our input buffer first. We are going from left to right. So we have to shift into the stack this ID. So we shift ID in the stack. Then what will be remain in the input buffer? Plus ID into ID $. Then this ID is a handle or not? Yes, it is a handle because it can be replaced with F. Okay. So reduce F tends to ID. So here we are performing handle pruning. That's why we can replace F tends to ID. Okay. Now next we have to shift operation because F is not reduced by T. Yes, it can be reduced by T. Now we have to see that after F, if I reduce this plus, then F plus is on the right hand side of any production? No, there is only E plus. So we have to replace this F with T, then T with capital E. So we have to reduce this F, this is F, we can reduce with T, and this T we can reduce with capital E, so that whenever we shift this plus on the stack, so when we get E plus T, we can easily reduce with capital E. Okay, if I get here, if I perform shift operation here, then F plus will be there. F plus is not anywhere in this grammar, so how we can reduce it? Okay, so we first reduce this F with T. So what we reduce F with T. Then if I reduce, if I perform shift operation, then T plus will be there. So T plus on the right hand side, it is not anywhere. Okay, E plus will be there. So I have to reduce this T with this E, because E tends to T will be there. Okay, so reduction of T is also perform, that is reduce E by T. Now we can shift this operator, then and only then we can reduce this E plus T. Okay, so if next shift operation will be performed. So E plus is a handle or not in the grammar? No, E plus T will be there. So next we have to shift. So there is E plus ID. So this ID will be replaced first with this F. So here is a handle. Okay, so ID will be replaced with F. Now if we get e plus f will be no it is not in the grammar. Okay, e plus t will be there, so we have to replace this f with t because we have a production. We can reduce this f with t. Okay, so t tends to f, we have to reduce. Okay, now the first thing that strike in your mind is that we can now replace e plus t easily. No. Why? Because we see that id into id will be reduced first. This expression will be evaluated first. Okay, so we do not have to reduce this e plus t with e. We have to shift this star operator here first, because first this id into id will be evaluated. Okay, so we have to perform shift operation first. Now we have to shifting this star. What is in the input buffer? id dollar star e plus t star is not a handle, so we again shift this id. So this id can be replaced with f. So what we get? T star f. So e plus t star f. So what is our handle? T star f is our handle. We can reduce with the t. So reduce t tends to t star f. Okay. Now we can reduce e plus t. It is a handle. We can reduce with capital E. So as you see here, we can reach to the starting state from the leaves node. So we can say the string will be accepted. Okay. When we get error, when we are not able to reduce, when we are not able to shift, even we are not able to accept, then and only then we can say the given string is not passed according to the grammar. Okay, but we shift from leave node to the start node. Okay, so we can say it is accepted. The string is accepted according to the grammar. So this is an exercise that you have to do by your own, where you have to perform shift reduce passing for the input string a into b plus c. You have to consider this small a, b and c as a id. You have to write first, consider a equal to id1, b equal to id2 and c equal to id3. Then you have to pass the string. Okay. So the next method is operator precedence passing. We already see the shift reduce parser in the previous slide. So we now proceed with the operator precedence passing. So what is operator precedence passing? So we have to first evaluate is the grammar is operator or not. For operator grammar, a grammar in which there is no null on the right hand side of any production or no adjacent non-terminal is called operator grammar. Okay. In operator grammar, there is no null symbol on the right hand side of any production, and also no adjacent non-terminal will be there. For example, I can say e tends to, if I write t, it is true, it is an operator grammar. Okay, but if I write e tends to two adjacent non-terminal at a time like t z, then it is not a operator grammar. Okay, even it does not contain any null symbol. So if I write e tends to e plus, if I have any operator t, it is an operator grammar because there are no adjacent non-terminal. Two consecutive non-terminal will be there. Okay, if I write e tends to e into t or f, it is also operator grammar because no null will be there and no adjacent non-terminal will be there. Okay, also I have to say one thing, that in bottom-up passing we don't have to remove any left recursion or any left factoring, because bottom-up passing handles this left recursion and left factored grammar, but top-down passing does not handle it, goes into the infinity loop. That's why we perform left recursion and left factoring top-down passing. Okay, So here is example of operator precedence grammar. Here E tends to EA. Here there is a consecutive non-terminals. Okay, so we can say it is not a operator grammar. Above grammar is not operator grammar because right hand side EAE has consecutive non-terminals. Okay, two or more consecutive non-terminal will be there on the right hand side of any production, then we can say that grammar is not an operator grammar. So here is an precedence and associative of an operator which will be help in the operator precedence passing. So this upper cap is the highest precedence and the right associative, and this division and multiplication are the next highest precedence and it is left associative, and this plus and minus is of the lowest precedence and it is also a left associative, and the blank entries in the operator precedence matrix denotes the error entry. Steps of operator precedence passing. First we have to find leading and trailing of a non-terminal, then establish a relation, then we have to create a precedence table. So these two steps is used to create a table. We already know how to what is the table for all the operators, so we skip this first and second. Okay, we directly create table and then pass the tree. Okay, and pass the string. So let's take one example of operator precedence passing, in which we have given a grammar and we have to pass a string with the help of operator precedence passing. So like top-down passing, we not have to perform left recursion and left factoring in the bottom-up passing method, because bottom-up passing methods are capable to handle left recursive grammar and left factored grammar. Okay, so the first step in the operator precedence table is to create operator precedence relation of which operator which are in the grammar. How many operators are there? Operators and terminal symbol, operator plus, star, and what is our terminal symbol? ID, and dollar symbol we have to include. Okay, so this is a table for the operator precedence. So the next step is to assign precedence operator between terminal. Okay, assign precedence operator between the terminal. So we have to assign precedence between terminals and operator. Okay, so why this dollar symbol is used, we have to put at the beginning of the string and at the end of the string to put the precedence. Okay, so we put at the beginning of the string dollar and the end of the string dollar. Okay, now we check this terminal symbol and this operator. Left hand side we have to check this dollar, and on the right hand side we have to check ID. Which relation will be there? This less than symbol, so we put here less than symbol. Next is ID and this plus. So ID we have to check on the left hand side, and this plus we have to check on the right hand side. What is the precedence? Greater than symbol, so we put here greater than symbol. Similarly, for now next one is plus and ID. So plus we have to check on the left hand side and ID we have to check on the right hand side. So what is the precedence? Less than symbol, so we put here less than symbol. Similarly, we put the precedence to in all the operator in between the terminal symbol. Okay, so next is pass the string using precedence table. So we already put the precedence between the operator and terminal. So the next step is scan the input string until first greater than symbol is encountered. Scan backward until less than symbol is encountered. The handle is string between less than and greater than symbol. Okay, let's understand with example. So we have to scan from left to right of the string. This string we already get. Okay, so we first scan from left to right, goes to the right hand side when we reach to the greater than symbol first. So we go here and we meet to the greater than symbol, then scan backward. Now we have to scan from here to backward where we get less than symbol. Yes, we get the less than symbol. So what is the handle? The string between the less than symbol and greater than symbol is our handle. Okay, So this is a handle, we can reduce it with f. So we reduce f tends to id and we get the string f plus id into id. Now once again we repeat this method, scan the input string until first greater than symbol is encountered. So we scan first greater than symbol is here, scan backward until less than symbol is encountered. So we get back, we get here. So string between the handle is the string between less than and greater than symbol. So this is our next handle, that is id. Okay. So we have to replace with f. Similarly we do for this last id, we reduce with f. Now the next is we have to perform appropriate reduction of all non-terminals. Okay, so we have to replace this f with e. We can replace, yes, f with first t and with e. So we directly replace this f with e and this f with t and this f we don't have to replace. So we have to perform appropriate reduction of all non-terminals. So we perform e plus t into f will be there. Next is remove all non-terminals. Okay, we remove all non-terminals, only we have operators. Now once again we have to place the relation between operator with the help of operator precedence table. Okay, when you check with the operator precedence table you get this relation. Okay, check with that table. Now we have to scan once again from left to right until less than symbol is encountered, then backward. So what is our handle? This, what this star has, t into f. Okay, so t into f will be reduced with t. So we have to reduce t with t into f. Sorry, we have to reduce t into f with t. Okay. Similarly, what is our next symbol? Only plus. This plus includes e plus t. So we have to reduce e plus t with e. Okay. So only $$ will be remain and we can say the passing will be done. So this is a method to perform the operator precedence passing on a given string. Okay. Hope you all understand. If you have any query, please contact me. So the next and most important topic is operator precedence function. There is operator precedence table, then also this new method will be invented, that is operator precedence function. This method have several advantages that I can tell you on the end of this topic. What is the advantage of operator precedence function compared to that operator precedence matrix? We can clearly see on the last slide of this video. Okay, so there is an algorithm for constructing operator precedence function. So in this method also you have given a grammar and you have asked to draw the operator precedence function table in the examination. Okay, so you have to draw operator precedence function table with the help of this method. So first we have to create function f of a and g of a for each a, that is terminal or dollar symbol. Next, partition the symbols in as many as groups possible in such a way that f of a and g of b are in the same group if a equal to b. Create a directed graph whose nodes are in the groups. Next, for each symbols a and b, do if a is less than b, place an edge from the group g of b to the group f of a. If a is greater than b, place an edge from the group f of a to group g of b. If the constructed graph has a cycle, then no precedence function exists. When there are no cycle, collect the length of the longest path from the group of f of a and g of b respectively. Let's understand this whole point one by one with the help of example. Okay, so we are going to the example. So this is example. In the examination only grammar will be given or the operator symbols. In examination it may be asked with there is a plus sign, multiplication sign, division sign and id will be there. You have to create operator precedence function table. for 7 marks. Okay, so what is the first step? Create a functions f of a and g of a for each a that is a terminal. Which are the terminal here? Plus, multiplication, id, and one more symbol we have to include, that is dollar. Okay, now a equal to plus star id or dollar. Dollar we must have to include in operator precedence also, precedence matrix also, and also in operator precedence function. So a is a terminal, so I write f of first plus, then f of star, f of id, and f of dollar. Similarly, we also have to create g of a function. What is a? Plus into id and dollar. So we have to create g of plus, g of star, g of id, g of dollar. It is simple. Now what is the next step? So what is the next step? Next step is partition the symbol in as many as group possible in such a way that f of a and g of b are in the same group if a equal to b. So what we have to do in this is, first we have to write f of id and g of id first. Okay, so simply you have to write this all the terminal symbol like id, star, plus and dollar. So what I write? id, star, plus and dollar. Then if you start with f, then you have to put here g. If I start with g, then I have to put here f, then g, then f. Similarly, if I start with f, then next group member is from g, next is from f, next is from g. Okay, if you here start with f, then you have to put here g. Okay, but I am starting with g, that's why I am putting here f, then g, then f alternative. Okay, it is very simple. Take the terminal symbol and create the group, nothing else. Okay, this is one group, this is second group. So what is our third step? If a is less than b, place an edge from the group g of b to the group of f of a. Now we have to check. I'm first checking this one. This left hand side is considered as f function and on the right hand side is considered as a g function. Okay, so I'm starting with the first operator, that is plus. F of plus and g of plus, what it gives? It gives greater than symbol towards f, so we have to put this arrow from f of plus to g of plus. It is very simple, only we have to add this arrow here. So from f of plus to g of plus we have one directed graph. Okay, so what is next one? F of star and g of plus. We are considering first this whole row, sorry, whole column. Okay, so we already complete f of plus and g of plus. Now we are going to f of star and g of plus. What is symbol? Greater than symbol towards f function. So we simply have to go from f of star to g of plus, considering this arrow. Okay, this one. So from f of star we have to go to g of plus. Where is g of plus? Here. Similar, next is f of id and g of plus. So it gives from f of id we have to go g of plus. From f of id we have to go g of plus here to here. Next is f of dollar to plus. F of dollar to plus. Which arrow will be there? From g to dollar. Okay, this is totally reverse. So from g of plus to f of dollar we have to go this arrow. Okay, so from f of dollar it is here, sorry, g of plus, that is here, we have to go to f of dollar. So we are taking next is f of plus to g of star now. Okay, we already completed this whole column. Now we are going with f of plus with dollar, then f of star with star, sorry, f of id with star, then f of dollar with star, then f of plus with id, f of star with id. So now we are going for f of plus and g of star. What is the arrow from g of star to f of plus? So we put from g of star to f of plus. Next is f of star to g of star. So we have one directed graph from f of star to g of star. So f of star to g of star we have a directed graph. Next, f of star to g of f of id to g of star. So we have to go from f of id to g of star. Next, f of dollar to g of star. What is the arrow? This one. So we have to go from g of star to f of dollar. So next one is f of plus to g of id. What is the arrow? Less than symbol. So we have to go from g of id to f of plus. From g of id to f of plus. Where is f of plus? Here. Next one is f of star to g of id. What is the arrow? From g of id we have to go f of plus. Next, f of dollar and g of id. From g of id we have to go to f of dollar. So the last column is from f of plus to g of dollar. From f of plus we have to go to g of dollar. Next, from f of multiplication sign to g of dollar. What sign we get? Greater than sign. So we have to go from f of star to g of dollar. Similarly for f of id to g of dollar. Okay. So what is our next step? If the constructed graph has a cycle, then no precedence function exists. When there are no cycle, collect the length of the longest path from the group of f of a and g of b respectively. Okay. So now we are going to create operator precedence function table that is asked in GTU. Okay. This table we have to construct where there is a f function and g function. There are terminal symbols, that is plus, star, id, and we have to put dollar. This whole graph does not contain any cycle. So we can collect the longest path from the group of f of a and g of b. So now how to fill this table? So first we are considering f of plus. So which is the longest path which will be end to the g of dollar or f of dollar from f of plus? Which is the longest path? One is this with count 1. One is this from f of plus to g of plus and g of plus to f of dollar. Okay, it will be end on any place, on g of dollar also or in f of dollar also. Okay, it is an end marker. It may be end on g of dollar or f of dollar with the longest path. What is the longest path? This 2. So what we write here? 2. Okay. If it will be end in g of dollar with 3, then we have to consider that 3 edges. Okay. So there are 2 edges from f of plus to the end marker, that is f of dollar. So we write here 2. Next one is g of plus. So what is the longest path to get the function of g of plus? What is the longest path to the end marker? This one. Only one will be there. So what is the answer? 1. Next one is f of star. Now you can check here how much arrow will be considered? 1 and 2. Let's check another possibility. 1, 2, 3. Let's check another possibility. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so this is the longest path. 1, 2, 3 on 4. As I said earlier, this f star may be end with f of dollar or g of dollar, but with the maximum length. So the maximum length is this 4. Okay, so what is the answer? 4. हम किसी भी सिंबल का जब टेबल ड्रॉ करेंगे किसी भी सिंबल का, तो वो हमें ये नहीं चेक करना है सर यहीं पे एंड होना चाहिए एफ ऑफ डॉलर या जी ऑफ डॉलर पे, किसी पे भी एंड करो बट विद द मैक्सिमम लेंथ. Okay, that we are considering here. Next one is g of star. Where is g of star here? So what is the first possibility? 1 and 2. Next 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so 3 is the maximum length of this g star. So we write here 3. Similarly for f of id, what is the maximum length? Here it will be end with 1. Here it will be end with 1, 2, 3. Here it will be end with 1, 2, and here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what is the maximum? 4. So we write f of id contains 4 now. Last one is g of id. So for g of id, what is the maximum length to reach to the end marker? Is 1, 2, 3. Okay, next is this only one length. Next 1, 2 and 3. Let's check another possibility. 1 and 2. Next is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the maximum. So we write 5 here. Okay, and in dollar it will be end itself. So for f of dollar and g of dollar, 0 is the answer because it is itself end marker. So we put 0 both the sides. So this is a precedence function table to put the precedence in between the operator. For example, we have two operator, that is plus and star. So the left hand side is considered as f function and right hand side is considered as g function. So what is f of plus? What is f of plus? What is the answer here? 2. So if I write here 2. What is g of star? G of star is 3. What is maximum? 3 is maximum. So what is the precedence? This one. Okay. Similarly, if I write star and plus, so on the left hand side we have to consider as a f function and on the right hand side we have to consider as a g function. So what is f of star? F of star is 4. And what is g of plus? G of plus is 1. What is maximum? 1. You can see that it is perfect precedence between the operator. So there are advantages of this operator precedence function compared to that operator precedence matrix, and also one disadvantage will be there. Let's see which are they. So there are two different tables for the same operator, that is plus, multiplication and id symbol. This is a table for operator precedence matrix and this is a table for operator precedence function table. Okay, both precedence table and function table gives the same relation about the operator. For example, according to operator precedence table, if I write on the left hand side if plus will be there, on the right hand side multiplication sign will be there, then what is the precedence? This less than symbol. Okay, according to operator function table, if on the left hand side plus will be there, so this left hand side is considered as f function and right hand side is considered as g function. So what is f of plus? F of plus is 2. And what is g of star? G of star is 3. So what is the relation here? This one, because 3 is greater than 2. So you can see here that both precedence table and function table gives the same relation. So why we have to create this operator precedence function? What is the major concern? The major concern is size. The advantage of constructing function table is size or space. You can see the size of operator precedence table is big of n square. If there is only 4 operator, then 16 cells are used for computing in operator precedence table. Okay, here we have only 4 operator. How many cells we use? 16. But in operator precedence function table only we have used 2 into n, that is 8. Okay, 2 into 4 8. Here n square 16 cell. So half cell we are going to use in operator precedence function table, and in operator precedence matrix we have used 16 table. So this is the major advantage of operator precedence function compared to this operator precedence table. Okay, there is one disadvantage also. So disadvantage of the function table, this table, is that unlike operator precedence matrix, it does not detect error like if I have f of id and g of id. On the left hand side also id, on the right hand side also id. Okay, if there is no operator in between, then it is an error. So I can check on the left hand side if id will be there, and on the right hand side id will be there, then this blank space denotes an error. Okay, in operator precedence it denotes an error. But what about operator precedence function table? Let's check. What is f of id? id and id. This considered as f and this considered as g. What is f of id? F of id is 4. What is g of id? G of id is 5. So here there is a precedence. As it has error, then also it shows the precedence. So this is the disadvantage of function table. It cannot detect the error like this. So in precedence function table it shows that it is a right associative, while in operator precedence matrix it detects an error. So this is a major disadvantage of this operator precedence function table. But there is a biggest advantage is that it is a less space consuming compared to operator precedence matrix. Hope you all understand the two methods of bottom-up parsing, that is shift reduce parser and operator precedence parser. The most important is that operator precedence function, how to create operator precedence function table. Okay, if you have any query in any of the method, then please contact me. Thank you.